My sister, girl, she can see something.
That lady over there in the chair. What fucking lady? Ain't no lady in here.
She can see something. Like, luckily, I can't see something because I don't know what I would do with myself. But I can, feel the energy. Okay, well, here is me again. Well, yes. Weird. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Becoming 20s podcast. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Austin, a host where I talk about the 20-something experience. And if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Austin, the host of the show. And yes, I know what you're wondering. Why the hell do you have a beard? Well, see, I was supposed to shave today, but I forgot my razor back home. So here we are. We're gonna serve Butch Queen realness. And also, another question, where the hell have you been? Well, I've been MIA because I don't know. I've just been chilling, and I think everyone deserves to chill, and I don't have to explain myself to anyone. But without further ado, let's begin today's podcast. So today is going to be a solo show. It's going to be just me because I want to talk about another thing that's quite personal, and I want to talk about spirituality. And I think I'm going to get into tarot reading, or just the major arcana cards. So the important, I would say, cards. And so in terms of spirituality, why I decided to talk about spirituality is because, I don't know, like, my whole life I've just been inclined towards the more spiritual side of things. Like, I am a Catholic, yes, but I think there is more to religion than just, believing, but also being part of, the whole shebang, shablamang, shawam, you know what I mean? And so I think it's important to get into, or to get in tune with your spiritual self, because I think, like, it's all about the mind, the body, and the soul. So I think for me, it's important to be really in touch with all three, because there's gonna be like this disconnect, or in my head, I feel like you're never going to be satisfied with, I don't know, with your life, maybe, because I don't know, like, I feel like all three have to be present in order for you to feel whole. And I'm not talking about the other whole, I'm talking about whole as a person, because, like, yes, okay, so, like, you can, like, think, or you can feel, like, physically, and then, like, emotionally you can feel some sort of way, but then you have to listen to what your soul wants. And I think at that point, I don't know if there is a time in my life where I specifically said I want to be more spiritual. I think it's more like a build up. I think I just sort of found myself in this position where I am more spiritually inclined, or more spiritually aware, as I'd like to say. And I think part of that is because, like, in my dad's side of the family, they are very spiritual in the sense that they are very superstitious. So I have, like, an aunt who's a medium, who's, like, a clairvoyant, and I think it runs in the blood of being spiritual. And girl, let me tell you something. My sister, girl, she can see something. She can see something. Like, luckily, I can't see something because I don't know what I would do with myself, but I can, feel the energy. I think that is what contributes to my ability to be able to read people really well is my psychic ability or my spiritual powers. And I don't know, like it could be like in like a party setting where I'm seeing someone walking in who I haven't met before, and I can already tell if I'm going to be uh, vibing with this person or not. And more often than not, I don't, because the people here are weird and slippery and slimy. But I mean, that's just a Macau local thing. Like everyone here does it. Like I said, I mean, okay, I might sound like a dickhead, I might sound like an asshole, but I'm not saying, or am I saying that people here are, how do I say, fake backstabbing bitches. But anyways, we'll get to it to another episode. So, where was I? Yeah, so my ability to read people, I think, comes from my spiritual inclination, and I think through that I've been able to make true connections. And you know, I oh, my dog is barking. Who's that? Nobody. And so I think through that I've been able to, like I said, make true connections. And back in the day, I would ignore these sort of gut feeling. I think another way for me to explain it is a gut feeling. So I think I've just been, developing this gut feeling, and it ain't no IBS. It's a gut feeling of intuition. There we go. Intuition. And so through my intuition, I've been able to, really hone in that little ability that I like to say. And yeah. And going back to what I was going to say, I would ignore these intuitional messages because I don't know, like I used to be like a people pleaser, right? Like I always wanted to be on people's good sides, but then at the end of the day, no matter what you do, people are going to be mad, or people are going to be annoyed, or people are going to be pissed at what you do. So at the end of the day, just do whatever the hell you want. So my tip for people who are going to me and they go, "Oh, I don't know how you do it, how you like go out and do whatever the hell you want, just do it, because someone's going to like it, A, and B, someone's not going to like it. So it's going to be a 50-50. And I'm like, it's whatever. If people don't like it, then they don't like it. If people like it, then they like it. And so I think I also, what's that word? I also wouldn't be here, where I am in life if it weren't for my psychic, spiritual power. Well, I wouldn't say psychic, but it's more like, how do I say? It's more, like I said, with lack of better terms, spiritual inclination. And so, yeah. And going into spirituality, I told myself, how do I further develop this ability or develop this part of me that I've been holding back? And my only thought is through tarot cards, because I've been in tarot TikTok for a while, and I thought it's really interesting how a bunch of cards can, give insight into your life. And so, thank you, Anastasia, for getting me my first tarot, for giving me my first tarot deck. She got it for me for my graduation. And ever since then, I've been so interested, like, in the world of tarot. And which is why I want to get into it in a bit. But first, I just want to get into how I got into it first. And so the second I got my tarot cards, I think I felt very, how do I say? It felt correct. like I feel um because like I am a Catholic, some people would argue like tarot reading is like witchcraft. But then in my mind I'm just like God put me in that situation, and God put me in a situation where I have a tarot deck at hand. So if he didn't wanted this to happen, then he wouldn't, But again, it's all about choice. But again, uh another episode to get into. But anyway, um yeah, I just like to think of like this as a gift from God. Is someone home? No, I just want to think of this as a gift from God. For me, like I said, I am Catholic, so I see this as a way of me helping people with whatever troubles they have, whatever doubts. And so some people would ask me whether or not if I would monetize like my tarot reading. And at first I did think about it, but then I ultimately decided against it because I didn't want to, you know, monetize something out of people's doubts, or you know what I mean? Like I don't like it doesn't fulfill me in that way, which is why when I go to parties, I always bring my tarot cards because I just know someone is, feeling, a little bit lost outside of the party. So it's also it's an opportunity for me to, further develop or further improve my skill, right? And so, yeah, I think it's been like maybe 6 months, I would say, more or less, almost, no, 6 to 8 months, more or less, on and off. It's not been consistent, of me just reading of me just doing tarot readings or just practicing on people. And I learned a lot about myself because, I there like I said, there is more to just your mind and body. There's obviously a soul, and I believe that there is another world out there that's, stuff like that. And so, yeah, I learned a lot about myself through the tarot readings, and, I just realized that I think I do have like a gift or an ability to help people clear their doubts because I don't know. Like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think people after giving a reading, they've been like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty accurate." And you pretty much like, I wouldn't say 100% spot on, but it is somewhere it's close to the bullseye, but not on the bullseye. You know what I mean? And so, in that sense, um, I told myself, okay, maybe this is like something that I want to further get into, get into crystals and stuff like that. I mean, I want to further develop the tarot reading into like oracles and runes and stuff like that, but then that's just a whole nother playing field. So I think until I am confident with tarot reading, I am going to get into, the whole other shebang. So, yeah, so going into tarot reading, I want to go through actually the major arcana. So what exactly is, hold on, I have it on my phone. So what exactly is the major arcana? So there are, I think, 78 cards in the deck in total. So I don't know how many major arcana cards. I think there's like 24 or something. No, I don't know. But no, there is, how many? Hold on. There is, I think it is 24 or 20 something. 21. 21, yes. There's 21 major arcana cards. And so what these major arcana cards reflect on is basically life lessons. So if I've ever given you a reading, right, sometimes you would see cards with sweets, and what sweets is like the pentacles, the cup, the sword, and the wand. So there's like Three of Cups, Four of Swords, or yada yada yada. So those are the minor arcana cards. So those are more like situational. So it's very specific to the situation that you have an inquiry on, whereas the major arcana card gives you a whole life perspective on maybe how you can go about not only the situation, but what you can take from this lesson and how you can further bring it into another situation. So the first major arcana card, if I can remember, as I'm looking into my phone, is the Fool, right? So the Fool to me is a very interesting card. It's a card that I feel I connect to because I always want to start a lot of things, right? I always have this idea where I want to do everything at least once, and I think the reason why I connect with the Fool is because the Fool has this sort of playful energy, this innocence, right? Is the also, side note, the major arcana cards tell a story. So the Fool is actually the person that's going through the path of the major arcana cards. So I will get into it, but anyways, so first we are introduced, like I said, to the Fool, which is the beginning of a journey or an end of a journey, but in most cases is the beginning. So like I said, it's if you were to be presented with this card, I'm not going to get into reverse because that's going to be another hour of an episode, but anyway, so the Fool, so what it entails is, like I said, it entails beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, and a free spirit. So if you see this card, it basically means to just go for whatever you're thinking of doing, because, you know, it's always that thing where if you don't do it, it's never going to happen. But just do whatever you have in your mind, right? And so going on to the next card, we have the Magician. So what this means is the keywords are manifestation, resourcefulness, power, inspired action. So in other words, it's just telling you that you have everything in your power to do what you want. So it's sort of like clearing self-doubt. And in relation to what I mean about the journey is the Fool starting their journey, they might have doubts, right? So like you, or to any listeners out there, if you are starting something, you might have doubts. Oh, what if like I don't do this correctly? What if I don't know this well enough? Well, the Magician basically is there to tell you that you have everything actually to do whatever you want to do. You just have to realize it. Like you have, let's say, the internet, you can like research it, but then if it's in terms of, you know, personal self, you, like I said, have everything. So the Magician is all about helping you realize that whatever you think you have missing, you don't. You just doubt yourself, right? Because I think in that sense, that's what you're most insecure about. And so going on to the next card, we have the High Priestess. Now, High Priestess, every time I pull this card, how do I say? I get a little bit confused, or I get a little bit like I raise an eyebrow a little bit. It's because the High Priestess is all about intuition and spirituality, and I think that's another reason why I want to get into the spiritual stuff, is because without your spiritual or without your intuition, right, you won't have anything to, you know, go by, if that makes sense. Like, how are you going to do something without like a gut feeling? Like, you're just going through everything blindly. And so what the high priestess is basically telling you is to trust your intuition, and it's all about like opening yourself to different possibilities spiritually. Because I think if I were to pull this card, it's sort of like I think your spirit guides is truly trying to tell you something, that you are, how do I say, you are being guided, right? There is a presence, there is a spiritual guide presence, and it's letting you know that I'm here, and whatever you do, just trust your gut, and I'll be there to guide you, right? And so the next card we have High Priest. No, we have the Empress. So the Empress is my favorite card to pull, especially if I'm doing a reading on guys, is because the Empress is all about divine femininity. And whenever I tell this to guys that I do a reading on, they're just like, oh my god, femininity, I'm not, I'm not a Fruit Loop or whatever. And so it's not about that. It's about what femininity embodies. So nurturing energy, caring energy. It's about creativity, right? So let's say at the start of a business venture, if we were to pull, or if I were to pull an Empress card for you, it would mean that you have a lot of, ideas, I'm sure. And I think you just have to nurture those ideas, like further develop your ideas in terms of career. But I think in terms of self, it's more like you are a person that people would look for comfort, or people would usually confide in you because you have that sort of motherly energy. And also the Empress is another thing for like mom energy, right? As in simple terms, the Empress is mom energy. And going on to the next card, we have the Emperor, which is father energy. Hello. And so the Emperor, did I say Emperor? Yes, I did say Emperor. So the Emperor, basically, it's an opposite to feminine energy. It's divine masculine energy. And so if I were to pull this for a guy, I don't know, like if I were to explain it, they go, oh yeah, I'm so manly. But it's not about that, right? It's all about taking action, because the Emperor is all about, course of action, doing things instead of sticking to just saying, if that makes sense. So for me, I feel like if I were to get a reading about my 2024 prospects, I feel that I would pull an Emperor card, only because like earlier on, like in late 2023, I said to myself I wanted to do something different this year, and here I am doing something different. And so yeah, I think the Emperor card is in another sense, is a wake-up call for people who are, the type that would just say and not do, right? And the next card before we go into a break, we have the Hierophant. So basically the Hierophant is all about tradition, right? It's all about structure. It's all about having things in a concrete manner. So for me, I feel like I represent quite the opposite of this, is because I'm very spontaneous. There we go. I'm very spontaneous in the sense that I don't have a lot of structure in my life, and I think if I would probably pull this card in a career, or in like a general reading, it's because where there is lack of structure, there is, no direction. And so, excuse me. And I feel I need sort of like a structure in order for me to, like I said, have direction in life and to know where you're going and know what you're doing with your life. And so, yeah, like I said, keywords, let me see. Spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, and institution. So, like I said, structure, but also what it means by religion. I think religion has a lot of structure, and I think the Hierophant, I think that the image of this is basically like a person, almost like a priest, and there's like two people bowing down. So in that sense, it's sort of like a religious energy card in that sense. And what else is there? Basic let's see. Spiritual wisdom. Yeah. I mean, it's all about just like, in summary of what this card basically is, it's just to have traditional how do I explain it? Okay, so if I were to give an example, if I'm giving a love reading and I pull this card, so let's say if I ask, if the person asks, oh, how am I going to meet my loved one, or how am I going to meet my soulmate? If I were to pull this card, I would tell you you're going to meet them in a very traditional, if I were to have it literally in a very traditional sense, right? In the most basic plane. So you can meet them in a coffee shop. It's very by the book love story. And with that, let's take a break.
Here we show you a close-up of a frog croaking.
Now that we're back from a break, let's continue on. So where we left off is basically the Hierophant. So now next we have the lovers. Speaking of lovers, I mean, there's not much I can explain with the lovers, because I'm pretty sure like the lovers card is one of the cards where you don't need prior knowledge to tarot to know what it means. And so basically the lovers is the lovers. It's about love, harmony, relationships, values alignment, and choices. So like I said, there's not much to explain with love, because it's all about I mean, it's about relationships, but it can transcend beyond, soulmate and stuff like that. It can be love for your family members. It can be love for your friends. It can be love to anything. It's just the embodiment of pure love and loving something or someone to the point of like, just like happiness. And so continuing on from that, we have the Chariot. So the Chariot, in a sense, is very similar to the Emperor, because the Emperor talks about call to action, whereas the Chariot talks about determination and what's that word? Not willpower. Oh, well, yes, willpower. Actually, I just saw the thing. Determine control, willpower, success, action, and determination. So let's say, for example, you take action, right? You have doubts with the choices that you make. So what the Chariot is here to tell you is to have conviction and to not half-ass the choices that you make. Just, if you make a choice, you make a choice. Don't make a choice because you are influenced by other things, or you make a choice just for the sake of making a choice. You make a choice with what's that word? I keep forgetting. I'm going blank. You make a choice with, I forgot the word. I'm blank. I tell it to the people that I'm reading with. Intention, right? Intention. You make the choice with pure intentions. So, in other words, chariot is all about like the driving force of anything that you do. And in the sense of just general reading or general life is just be 100% with everything that you do. Even it can even be like beyond choices. It can the actions that you do, right? Have willpower, determination, and conviction with everything that you do, and I mean everything, whether it be thinking, talking, or the way that you dress, because majority of your life is all about making choices, right? And so if you make a choice half-ass, it's going to reflect on you, whether it be a good reflection or a bad reflection, but either way, people are going to know. So let's say the dress or the thing that you chose to wear today, how you choose to dress, right? So it's like you can wear the most ugliest outfit, but if you serve Mama Boots the house down, people are not gonna clock you. People are gonna go, he is a trendsetter. She is whatever, like she is the it girl. And so, yes, Chariot is all about being 100. Oh, the Chariot is all about being the 100% bitch that you are. And so, going on to the next card, we have Strength. Strength. The Strength card. Let's see. It's very strong Leo energy. I just want to put it out there because like this Leos I feel have a lot of strength, the courage, and the nerve. No, I'm just kidding. They also have like this sort of appeal to them. I think the reason why they are so appealing in a sense of just life in general is because they have the courage to do whatever the hell they want. They have like strength, but also going outside of, you know, astrological signs and Leos, going back into the tarot cards, what strength basically entails is to just be strong. I think again this card is another card where you don't need prior knowledge to about tarot to know what this card means, but basically this card is talking about to have strength. Let's see. Compassion is also this is also another keyword in this card, because I don't know, like I could think of a situation where if you are feeling another voice crack. If you are feeling lost, I guess, I think if you were to pull this card, just know that it's going to get better. And right now you just have to be strong, if not for anyone, but for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you, yourself, and you. Well, yes. And so going on to the next card, we have the Hermit. Now, the Hermit. I feel a lot of people can benefit from the fucking Hermit. You know why? Because it's all about being alone with yourself, having alone time, searching who you are as a person, not only physically, but also having not having a soul, but soul searching. And girl, we're just so tired to see people, you know, be other people. You know what I mean? It's like people have many different personalities with different group of friends, and I understand to a certain degree everyone does it, but there's a point where it just gets so fake. It's so superficial to the point where I don't know who you are anymore. And so this is why I said people here, especially in Macau, I can say confidently that you will benefit from the Hermit crab. You benefit for a little alone time because, like I said, you don't know who you are, baby. You don't know who you are. You're mad that I know who I am. but you don't know who you are. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's just so sad to see, like, people uh be another version of themselves to try to fit in. And like I said, to a certain degree, yes, fine, whatever. It does the thing. Like, I used to be that, but because again, another episode, no, which I think I talked about in one of my episodes, but either way, there's a point where it just gets super, super annoying. You know what I mean? And if you're listening to this, and if you are affected to this, baby, if the shoe fits, is all I have to say. So going on to the next card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is basically good luck, good karma, life cycles, and a turning point in your life. So Wheel of Fortune is basically saying that good things are going to come your way. Like, I could think maybe in a career in the career sense, you're gonna get maybe a promotion if you get this card. You're gonna get a raise, maybe you're gonna find a different job with a better pay or whatever. But either way, it's all about good karma, good karma and good fortune, right? And so this card, I think, again, one of those cards that you don't need prior knowledge to know what it means. But some of, actually, if you want to get into a tarot reading, it's actually not that hard, because in most cases you can just take the card in face value, because, well, obviously you have to know what the cards mean, but that's just 20%. 80% of it is just your intuition. So yeah, going on to the next card, we have Justice, which means justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect, and law. So Justice is very much me, because it's very Libra energy. And basically what this entails is fairness, knowing both sides to a story, or seeing the two perspectives before making a choice. And so the Justice the Justice card basically teaches you to make fair choices, and to make a choice or do something where you have seen both sides of the story, or you've seen the two perspectives. So in other words, what the Justice card is just trying to tell you is, make sure you've done your research on one side and the other, and you make a choice based off of the information that you've searched. And I think I rarely pull the Justice card in general for people, because I think to pull a Justice card, it have to be an extreme, because I feel like if I were to pull a Justice card, it's to someone who is always making a biased choice, right? Because since it's also Libra energy, it's always all about balance. And where there is a lack of balance, there is obviously, a bias and like an imbalance, and things are going to go out of control, right? And so, yeah, I don't think I've ever met anyone that is extreme with their choices to the point where it's... What? What the hell am I even saying? But anyway, I just lost my thought because I see a cloud very close to the window. But anyway, yeah, back to what I was saying. The Justice card just basically entails fairness, making choices based off of proper prior knowledge, so not making a biased choice. So the next card, we have the Hanged Man. Now, most of the case, there we go, let's just say that. Let's not try to complicate things any further. The Hanged Man basically scare a lot of people because, you know, the hanged man is in the name. Like, who wanna see a hanged man in their tarot reading? But it's not necessarily a bad thing to see a hangman, because basically what the hangman talks about or entails is to give in and to be open to the possibilities of different outcomes, you know, just letting things happen. Stop being such a control freak. There we go. That's the phrase for the hangman. If the hangman was a person, and if this person were to say one thing to you, stop being a control freak, because there are things in life that you really cannot control. And if you were to get a hangman card pulled for your reading, you just have to understand that in life, like I said, there is certain things that you can control, but a lot of things you cannot control. So you just have to let it happen, because the hangman is about. So if I were to, okay, let me describe the picture. The hangman is basically not hanging from the neck, it's hanging from the feet. And so he's just like hanging there, you know, he's just letting the gravity swing him, or he's letting whatever, he's just letting go. That's basically all I can say. Letting go, bitch, let it go, right? And the next we have the death card. Now, again, a lot of people are scared of this card because it could mean, you know, death, dying, but it's not really in that sense death to all of them, Wendy. It's about ending of a relationship or something just that is ending, right? It could also be the end of a chapter, the death of an old you, a death of a relationship, or the death of it just completely depends, of the context of the reading. But in general, it usually means at this point of your life, something is going to end, but with death, there's always going to be like reincarnation. So there's going to be something else that's going to come for you. So death, when you see death ain't all bad. Death is all about, you know, letting you know that when there are beginnings, there are definitely endings. So, well, yes. And so going on to the next card, we have Temperance. So Temperance is, again, for me, I connect to because it has like Libra energy, I think, because Temperance is all about like balance, moderation, and what else? Hold on. Patience and purpose. So hello, focus. My God, this camera is so nasty, so rude.
Like that.
So nasty.
And that's what happened.
So rude. So nasty and so rude.
Because it want to stop while I was talking about, what was the card? Temperance? Now me on TikTok. But anyways, back to what the hell I was bloody saying. Where is it? Here we are. Temperance. Balance. On to the next. We have the Devil. The Devil card is, now, it doesn't have to be a bad, is it even recording? Yes, it is. Now, the Devil card doesn't even have to be a bad thing. It can just be showing you deeper parts of yourself that you didn't know you have. So it can talk about like temptation, your inner saboteur, your like self-doubt. Basically, it's just like it's quite literally the little devil that's like hanging around in your shoulders, just telling you all the evil shit. And in this case, it's just telling you that that you, wait, what are the keywords of this? Shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, and sexuality. Yeah, it's just, in other words, what this card basically, like if you were to pull this card, it's just telling you to stop being attached to a lot of the things, stop being tempted by things, stop being your self-saboteur, stop being a sabotage to yourself in your life, right? Because the devil in general, I think in other, like, this card can also be one of the cards that you don't need prior knowledge to know what it means. But the devil card just quite literally is your evil self trying to sabotage you in that sense, and your spirit guides is just telling you or helping you make aware of such situations. So on to the next card, we have the Tower. So the Tower, for me, I find very common if you're doing a career reading, I feel, or in a sense that you are planning to quit abruptly, because what this card means is abrupt change, or changing all of a sudden, because it's almost like you're trying to jump ship, right? Because your ship is already like sinking and you're trying to, self-preserve. And in this sense, in terms of career, if you feel it's not good for you, you try to preserve yourself, you try to save yourself by quitting abruptly. And so in general, what this card could also mean is hold on, let's see, like chaos, in a sense that you want to leave, like you want to exit yourself, because the imagery of the card is basically, like the card says, it's a tower, but there's two people jumping off from it. And let me not forget to mention that the tower is on fire. So in that sense, it's just you trying to preserve yourself. You're trying to self-preserve, right? You're trying to damage control. You're trying to protect your inner self, your inner peace. So going on to the next card, we have, what's this? The Star. So basically what the star means is, let me read out the keywords first: hope, faith, purpose, renewal, and spirituality. So the star basically just means that, wait, what was it? A renewal. Yes, just a newfound something. Like maybe in this case, a newfound hope. Something that you have you're suddenly hopeful about something, or you suddenly have this drive. Like, let's say if it's in a career or in a love reading, right? If you were to pull the Star, you have found something about your partner that makes you fall in love with them again, right? And so the Star is just all about, if I could relate it to something, it's almost like a light bulb moment where you realize that there's actually something else in a situation, right? It's like realizing something that, that it's there. It just took time for you to realize that it's there. And let's see. Hope, faith, purpose, renewal, and spirituality. Yeah, I mean, I guess in a broader sense, the Star just basically means maybe in relation to real world, like the star, like you always like, oh, let's wish upon a star. So whenever you wish upon a star, you always like have this inner gleam, like inner hope that it will happen. Like, of course it will, things will happen, but can someone stop texting me? Anyways, it's about like having that hope in you to keep you going. So on to the next card, we have the Moon, where I would say is the opposite of the Star, because the Moon is all about, how do I say, the night, the illusions, the anxiety, because I feel like most of the time we are in our heads during the night, especially when it's like in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the night. in like midnight when you're in bed 2 a.m. and you're sitting in your thoughts and suddenly you have like all these things running in your head. And I think this is what the moon card represents. It just represents the how do I say? Let me read the thing again. It just makes you realize, or makes you more aware of your subconscious mind. Because I mean, it's called daydreaming for a reason, because during the day you're like living your life, you're not really realizing a lot of things that goes on into your little head. But during the night in 2 a.m., especially 3 a.m., where you're with no one but yourself, you're just thinking about different things. And I think the moon is just here to tell you that some things, like some of your thoughts are, how do I say, like you are unsure, you're very doubtful, you're anxious about something, because you're always, it's quite literally keeping you up at night when you think about it. And so I think what this card also tells you is, not only are you able to go into your subconscious mind about your deep thoughts, but it also tells you to access your subconscious self to find answers. Because even though, like I said, 3 a.m. you're with yourself thinking, but you never know whether or not being with yourself is the best thing for you. And so it also tells you that sometimes the answer is within yourself, and sometimes you just have to really sit back and lay out your cards and really make a choice based off of that. And so going on to the next card, we have the Sun, which is about positivity, warmth, and, you know, being fun and stuff like that. And quite opposite of the Moon, like I said, it's called daydreaming for a reason. And so it's all about happiness. It's all about content. It's all about being just happy in general, because the Sun just has that happiness energy. It has that vitality. It has that, how do I say, it has that energy that makes you go, you know what, everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. So going on to the second last card, we have Judgment. Now, Judgment is all about, like the card says, judgment, rebirth, inner calling, and absolution. So Judgment is, how do I say, it's about, in relation to the Justice card, like the Justice card it's all about balance, making choices based on based off of knowing what the different choices, your alternative choices can become. Wait, but does that make sense? Wait, no, let me backtrack. Justice is about making balanced choices without bias. Judgment is about making choices based off of your best judgment. If that makes sense? It just basically, it's like how do I say? I think, okay, if I were to put this into example, if I were to pull this in the general reading card and there is Judgment, I think it's all about, I don't know, Judgment. See, I rarely pull the Judgment card on people. Wait, have I? No, I have actually pulled it once on a love reading, but basically that just means that quite literally people are going to judge you based on the choices that you make in love. But I think if I were to put this in like a general reading, I think Judgment is all about hmm 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 making the call. Not the phone call, but making, like, you know how like leaders, they have to call it. I think in this sense you just have to have good sense of judgment, a good sense of self in order to go about different paths in life, if that makes sense. I think judgment is one of those cards that is quite hard to define without context of a reading, because judgment is a very broad card, because it needs context. But as general as I can make it, judgment is just all about, like I said, your call of judgment, your doing choices based on your best interest. Like, even though there is justice, like I said, there is making choice based off of not making choices without bias. But there's also, I think judgment is also one of those cards where you need your inner intuition, to your inner self, to make choices in life based, even though you may know it's going to affect other people, but as long as it's like yourself that's like preserving, it's okay, I think. Yeah, no, I know. So now the final card, we have the World. So the World is the last card in the major arcana, and it also signifies the end of a chapter, or the beginning of a chapter. It's quite how do I say? It's in relation to the Fool, because the Fool is the beginning, whereas the World is the end. So the World just basically means that, usually if I were to pull this card, it would mean that you have come full circle, and wherever you are in life, you are where you have to be, right? And so it's just about let's see. It's just about like knowing that whatever you're doing now is going to end soon. So like, let's say maybe a business venture, like, I wouldn't say end, but it's more like it's time for you to go to do another thing, because you've done everything that you can. And so so now that I finished all the 21 cards, how they are all related to each other, like I said, they're all about life lessons, right? And so the Fool, the first card, goes through from the Magician all the way to the World. So it's, in a sense, we are the Fool, being like, in a sense that we are allowing ourselves to experience these different scenarios in life, and just allowing ourselves to be to be no, but basically it's just about like knowing that life is a journey, and in between we are gonna go through different things in life, but in the end there's always, like I said, there's a beginning and there's an end to different things. And so it's very important to know that there are highs and there are lows, and that's okay. And so, like life, we move on, we pack our shit, and we move on. And I think a lot of people nowadays lack the idea of moving on, I think, because I mean, that's based off of personal experience. Of what I see is people tend to linger on the past, and they will always ask like advice, like, oh, what do I do? I'm just like, just let it go. Like, oh, it's hard to let go. Then do what you have to do to overcome it. Like maybe it be facing your past or whatever, and just accepting that what has happened has already happened, and what you do with yourself after is what matters. I think that's the most important life lesson that I got from, at least for me, from tarot cards, is that you have to be open to many different possibilities, but also understand that it's not set in stone. So a lot of, actually, let me disclaimer, a lot of people think that when I do a reading, whatever I say is set in stone. No, it's not set in stone. It's just a different perspective or a different solution that I'm presenting you, a different way in which you can go about the situation that you're having an inquiry on. And so for me, I'm just guiding them, like just sort of like pushing them in like a different direction that they might not be used to. Or it could also be that I am telling them things that they don't want to hear, and I'm just bringing it to light. And this is why I think, like, I don't see this as witchcraft. I think it's quite funny that people see it as witchcraft. I think it's a gift for me. Well, I think it's like a gift because I'm helping people. I don't think I'm, affecting their lives negatively. What they do with the information is what they do with the information. I'm just bringing light to certain perspectives or situations that they might not be able to see. And with that, I think tarot cards has not only helped people, but also it helped me in the sense where it helped me realize that life is a big, big, big journey. Life is a marathon, not a race, sweetie. And so some people are rushing into life like crazy, and I'm just like, take it slow. And which is why, like, some of my friends might think I'm very, how do I say, like I don't care. Or some people might, especially first impressions, people might see me as like, oh, a person who doesn't care a lot. I think it's just like, for my train of thought is more like, I don't take life seriously enough for me to care about the really small things. Because at the end of the day, like, things move on. Like, the world doesn't stop because of one little mishap. The world keeps on going. You don't see the world stop spinning on its axis. No. So I'm just, basically what I'm just trying to say is that wherever you are in life, just know that it's just temporary, because life just keeps on moving on. Life won't wait for you. It's just how you are able to keep up with life. I think that's my little sprinkle for you guys. So yeah, I think that's basically it for this episode. I think it's a nice little episode to talk about, a nice episode after my 2-week-long hiatus. And so yes, if you want to see more of me, I have an Instagram, a personal Instagram is Defna Austin, DEFAUSTINN, and I have a podcast Instagram. I'm not sure, I forgot what name it was, but I know it's Becoming 20s Podcast or B20 Podcast. Either way, I'm gonna pop it onto screen. And with that, I'll see you next week.
The way I got you on the run, I hear you say let's fuck all night. Feeling something better, I might fuck her if I'm feeling tight, right? Got me feeling something, then I need to get that itch scrap. Turn around, I get to packing, yeah. When I bad bitches always have to keep their hands wet. We're too slick, I like to ride. Fuck a skate on a bitch, turn around, she likes to ride. Is she cute? Yeah, she might. She a baddie for the season or a baddie for the night.